So we've got elite, better than Chester's, alright, or would rather be at Manchester Met. Hello and welcome to today's video. So it's going to be slightly different in terms of just like the general vibe of it, but it's also hopefully going to be quite informative. But I'm going to be tier ranking the Fallowfield Manchester University accommodations. Now it's also kind of going to be a bit of a joke around as well, so like don't take it completely seriously, but like I'm also going to be like telling you a bit about the accommodations, so it's kind of like informative meets banter. So yeah, if you're interested, keep watching. So the first one is Ashburn. This is £154 a week. Well, okay, these are the prices in 2020 to 2021 academic year, so like they do tend to go up every year. But Ashburn is shared bathrooms, catered food. The food's okay. It's got like a little socialising area because like there's the bench and also the like grass ground surrounding it. Mainly kind of private school vibes I kind of get from it. They've not got much of a social life, mainly because it's catered, so that they can't really congregate anywhere other than like their meal times and stuff. They only get fed like Monday to Friday, so they still have a little kitchen where they have to cater them for themselves over the weekends. So that kitchen's really small, but obviously they're catered, so that's not like the main problem. Basement is the best part of Ashburn. They've also got a music room, so if you like want to destroy some drums or play the piano, then that's quite a nice little area that nowhere else really has. But yeah, the basement is a good place for parties. It's quite like low-key, but like it is really good. It gets really hot down there though, so that's probably because there's quite a few people, but yeah. So Ashburn, we're gonna rate it. So we've got elite, better than Chester's, alright, or would rather be at Manchester Met. So Ashburn, when I find the photo, is that Ashburn? Yeah. Ashburn is going to go in alright. I mean, it would rather be around there because I'm not really fancying shared bathrooms or really catered food that much because like you don't really have much choice. But the basement does up it by a lot, so that is why it is in the alright section. Next we have Shevin. Okay, this may be slightly biased, but it is £151 a week, which is only £4 cheaper than Ashburn, where you get your food, but it's all ensuite, all self-catered. I feel like we've got quite an underrated social life. Like Shevin is tons better than people probably give it credit for. You can really get away with quite a bit more just because it's in like the more quieter area. Like everyone's always like at Oak House or Owens Park or Unsworth, so like we're kind of a bit away from everything like that, but really it's basically only like a 5-minute walk if you wanted to get to even like Unsworth. That's not even too far. So I think it's quite underrated. We have a common room that we've not been in yet. I think quite a few of them have common rooms, but like they're not open because of COVID at the moment. It's quite expensive compared to Unsworth because Unsworth is £160 per week. So that's only £9 more, and they get a double bed, a sofa and a TV. It's not too bad, so for that reason I'm going to rate it as better than Chester's. Next we have Walton Hall, which is £155 a week. It is shared and ensuite. It's catered and it's kind of a bit out the way, like they've got like this gate away and then it's like down the drive bit, so to be fair it's quite out the way. I don't really know anyone that's there. It just seems like a classic kind of like boarding school kind of housey thing. I'm sorry for Walton Hall, but yeah, I would rather be at Manchester Met. To be perfectly honest though, like I've not been there, or have I? I've been past it, and I mean I've not been in it, but like I don't know many people from there. I think they kind of either just keep themselves to themselves or they just don't really go out much, but they're just not really like, whenever I go to parties and meet other people, no one is ever like, oh I live in Walton Hall. It just isn't, it doesn't occur. So I'm sure it's okay, but I would rather be at Manchester Met. Next we have the infamous Oak House, which is £107 a week, so that's the cheapest out of all the accommodation. However, it's kind of a bit like a prison. Like the rooms are really small and really cramped. Some of them have a sink in them, some of them don't. And they're all like shared bathrooms and self-catered. The police are always there, or they're always at Owens Park, so if you want to go to a crazy party, Oak House is where to go. But the rooms are really cramped. I don't even think they can open the windows. I don't think they're made to be opened. So I mean, that just screams prison to me, really. So I'm afraid it's going to be, would rather be a man there. I mean, the parties are crazy, if that's your kind of thing. But I mean, you can not be in Oak House and still go to an Oak House party. So like, I wouldn't, it's got a good social life just because it's kind of, it is where everything happens. But like, you can still live elsewhere and go to Oak House parties. Like, it's not like you're not allowed in or anything. Next we have Owens Park, which is catered and they share bathrooms, and that's £155 per week. It's basically the tower, like there are other blocks, but the tower is the main one, and that's mainly full of international students you tend to find. But as on accommodation goes, it's not too bad, I don't think. Like, I wouldn't choose to go there, but it's an experience. I think if you go to Oak House or Owens Park, like, you're having an experience. That's probably the only way I can describe it. Like, I wouldn't say it's brilliant. It's really not the best, but like, you'll kind of look back on your university years and go, I've had an experience, whether that be good or bad. Like, you've lived at Oak House or Owens Park, like you've had that experience. So I'm not sure I'd probably recommend it, but I mean, I walk past it quite a lot because my block's just behind it, so it doesn't look too bad. But again, it's quite popular. Like, there's quite a lot of people living there, and yeah, it's right by the reception, so kind of quite a lot of people are kind of near there. But basically, Oak House is where everything happens. So Owens Park's not terrible, but I'd probably rate it alright. Next we have Unsworth Park, and you're lying if you said you didn't want to go there. It's £160 a week, you get double beds. It's really modern, really new, really big, and in its own like kind of village of itself. It's quite crazy. But the kitchens are massive, but they've got no blinds. So basically, if you're having a party, it's very obvious to everyone outside that you're having a party because it's just glass. So you can't really hide. There's a lot of people there. Like, the flats are of 10, but there's so many rooms. Like, there's so many flats, there's so many blocks of Unsworth. I think everyone could say they wanted to go. Whether people didn't because they didn't have the money to go, that's a different like question. But it's the best. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's self-catered, en suites, big rooms. Yeah, there's not much not to like about Unsworth, other than the fact the kitchens have no blinds, which is basically, to be honest though, you're kind of living in like, you're living the high life. So like, when you go to other places, everywhere you go is going to look really bad. Whereas in Shevin, I'm only really jealous of Unsworth. Like, I can go to Oak House and be like, oh, I'm so grateful for what I have, because like, it's rubbish. But like, if you're in Unsworth, everywhere you go is going to seem like a disappointment. So yeah, I mean, it's a really nice area. It's very modern, very clean. I think there's probably still like, there's been a couple issues of like rats and insects around accommodation. I'm not sure if any of that's been at Unsworth because it's basically like 2 years old. But there's definitely been like insect problems in other accommodations. But as you can probably tell, Unsworth is going to go in my elite section. And finally, we have Richmond. Now, Richmond is on par with Shevin, I think. Yeah, so basically it's the same a month, 151. It's ensuite, it's self-catered. They're pretty much the same, except Richmond has a really big car park. I don't know why I noticed that. But it's also got, so with Shevin, it's Shevin and Ashburn, and then there's like a grass area with like a pond. And Richmond is kind of in a square of its own, and there's like grassy area, so like if you like grass then, or if you like scenery I should probably say, then they're kind of on par. But I have been to Richmond and the kitchen was smaller than in Shevin, but I don't know if that was because I was on a room, we were in a kitchen in the corner, so it was a triangle kitchen rather than, I don't know, a rectangle kitchen or whatever other shapes they were. So it's probably on par with Shevin, but I'm not a big fan of the people that I met. Like, when I went for a party, the party was really dead, but I think that was because most people were out. But yeah, it's not too bad. The rooms are pretty similar to Shevin, so I think for that reason I'm gonna have to say it's better than Chester's. Disclaimer, I've actually not had a Chester's, but a lot of people in my flat have, and they say they're really nice and they're really cheap, so we'll say that Chester's is quite good on this hierarchy chart here. So that is it for my tier ranking. I hope you found it useful and a bit of a joke at the same time. Yeah, don't take offence if you're in any of these accommodation, it's just kind of my ranking of them. But if you did enjoy them, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Bye!